If you're passionate about rare coins and hidden treasures from the past, then you're in the right place. Before we dive into this fascinating story, take a moment to hit that subscribe button so you never miss a chance to discover the secrets that history has buried in plain sight. Now, let me take you on a journey. A journey that begins in 1988, an unforgettable year for many of us. Some were raising families, some were working hard to build a life, and some were already deep into their collection of coins, tools, or classic cars. But what most people didn't realize back then is that something incredibly valuable had just slipped into their pockets. It was small, copper-colored, and seemingly ordinary. A 1-cent coin. Just one. This tiny coin was minted in South Africa in 1988. It was part of the everyday currency. Nobody gave it a second glance. After all, what could a 1-cent piece ever be worth? It was loose change. It rattled at the bottom of your pocket. It got lost between couch cushions. But let me tell you something, time has a funny way of changing everything. And today, that same little coin has become one of the most talked about pieces among collectors across the globe. At first glance, there's nothing extravagant about it. The 1988 South African 1-center coin features the profile of Jan van Riebeeck, a figure tied to South Africa's colonial past. Flip it over, and you'll find the familiar image of two tiny sparrows perched side by side. A simple, peaceful design. But behind that simplicity lies a story that will blow your mind. Many of these coins were struck in the tens of millions. They were meant for circulation, no different from any other coin at the time. But something happened during the minting process that changed the fate of a handful of them forever. And that's where this story takes a dramatic turn. Mistakes, my friend, are sometimes worth more than perfection. A small batch of these coins left the mint with a flaw. A rare error. It could be the metal composition, the alignment, a double strike, or a missing detail. These errors were not caught in time. They slipped into circulation. And then, slowly but surely, they began to vanish. Some ended up in piggy banks. Some were melted down. Some simply disappeared into history. But a few survived. Hidden. Forgotten. And today, those very coins are being hunted by collectors and investors with deep pockets and sharp eyes. Why? Because rarity drives value. When something is rare and people want it, its value skyrockets. And when that rarity is tied to history, real, tangible history, it becomes more than just a coin. It becomes a legacy. A relic. A prize. Now, picture this. A man finds an old jar of coins in his garage. Dusty. Forgotten. Inside, he spots a 1988 1-cent coin from South Africa. Nothing special, he thinks. But then he remembers a story he heard. He takes a closer look. And what he's holding in his hand isn't just a piece of metal. It's a gold mine. And here's where it gets exciting. That exact coin, yes, that one, recently made headlines for being sold to a private collector for a staggering amount. Not $100. Not $10,000. But $2 million. That's right. $2 million. You might be wondering, how could such a thing be possible? It's just 1 cent. But remember, it's not about what it was worth then. It's about what it means now. It's about the story it tells, the hands it passed through, and the mistake that turned it into a treasure. Collectors aren't just buying metal. They're buying the thrill of owning something no one else has. They're buying a piece of forgotten history. And in the world of rare coins, the 1988 South African 1-center coin is now a legend. Think back. Do you remember tossing one of those into a drawer? Slipping it into a tip jar? Giving it to a grandchild to play with? That small moment could have been worth millions today. And that's what makes this hobby so thrilling. It's not about the size of the coin. It's about the size of the story behind it. Men like you, men who understand value, not just financial, but historical, are the ones who appreciate these treasures the most. You've lived through decades of change. You've seen the world evolve. And you understand that sometimes, the smallest things can hold the greatest worth. So here's what I want you to do. If you have a collection, big or small, take a fresh look at it. Go through those old coin jars. Dust off those albums. Check the dates, the details, the weight. And most importantly, look for the ones you never paid attention to. Because among them, you might just find your own hidden fortune, and if you do happen to come across a 1988 1-cent coin from South Africa, take a long, hard look. Examine its edges, its details, its alignment. If something seems unusual, you may have stumbled upon something extraordinary. The coin market is changing. What was once pocket change is now serious investment. And this isn't just for collectors. It's for anyone who wants to turn the forgotten into fortune. This world rewards those who pay attention. Those who care about where we've come from. Those who hold on to history rather than let it slip away. Now, if you've stuck with me this far, here's what you've been waiting for. The confirmed value of the rarest 1988 South African 1-center coin. $2 million. Yes, you heard that right. A single coin, once worth a mere 1 cent, now valued at $2 million. Incredible, isn't it? That's why you subscribe. That's why you stay curious. Because the next treasure might be in your drawer, your attic, your pocket, and when you find it, you'll be glad you listened.